These are the video instructions for step 4 of your persuasive speech counterclaim. In this step, you're going to self-assess the counterclaim skill at the bottom of your rough draft document. In your rough draft, you should have now written your counterclaim. If yours looks like this one, where it has a lot of empty space and all of this packed together, feel free to scoot the table over to even things out. All right, you are going to assess your counterclaim to see how you did on this skill. The place that you're going to do it is at the bottom of your rough draft document, where we see the self-assessment table. So you're going to give your self-assessment of argumentative claim. What you need to do is, on the counterclaim document, look at that counterclaim rubric checklist in order to understand, did you make it to the 3? Did you make it to the 4? Did you make it to the 5? Did you make it to the 6? If you remember, this is the same thing that's written in your rough draft. For example, this is the level 5. So this is all about making it to the 3 right here, to the 4 right here, and to the 5 right here. So down here, you would score yourself. I'm scoring this at a 5, and you need to explain how you know you're at each level of the rubric using the language from the checklist, which is once again the same language here as it is here. This one doesn't have the 6 on it because it's just up to level 5. This is level 3, 4, and 5, and show evidence from your work. Meaning, if I'm saying this at a 5, I need to show first that this acknowledges some people will disagree with the claim and clearly state the opposing opinion. I can see that this did that by saying, some teachers and administrators believe that students are not responsible enough for this opportunity. That is acknowledging that some people, teachers and administrators, believe that students are not responsible enough for the opportunity. That part's the opposing opinion. So, let's say 5. And I might say something like, shows that students and teachers disagree with claim. And I'd put a 3 next to that. To get to the 4, counterclaim clearly explains difference between speech claim and opposing position. Here it's talking about the speech claim. While research shows that off-campus lunch would be good, coming down, explains that this is different from my claim by explaining that, and maybe putting quote the part that you're taking from the document. I explained that I think we should have campus lunch, and they did not. You put a 4 next to that, that's showing what you would need to do to get to the 4. And finally, to show that this counterclaim is up at the 5, you need to give evidence for the counterclaims provided and explain why, despite the evidence, the counterclaim is still incorrect. Here, there was the interview with Mr. Sussman, claiming that tardy is already a huge issue that hurts students at Shasta, and students, if they have an off-campus lunch, they would be even later to class. It says that Mr. Sussman's right, so evidence provided. Mr. Sussman thinks this, so that's an example of a teacher thinking this. Explaining that why, despite the evidence, the counterclaim is still incorrect. So Mr. Sussman is right that tardies do impact student learning. However, learning does not only happen inside the classroom. By allowing students the chance to learn and fail on a bigger scale, we will develop the ability to be punctual and make better decisions in the long run. So, counterclaim provides evidence that a teacher thinks off-campus lunch will lead to tardies and explains why that isn't a big deal. Showing that we're up at that 5, and if you want, you could say even better, you could say why, despite the evidence, counterclaim is still incorrect. That'd be a more professional way of putting it. Explains why, despite that evidence, we should still have an off-campus lunch. All right. And in doing that, you've shown it's a 3, it's even more than a 3, it's a 4, it's even more than a 4, it's a 5. You've proven that score. A student who has this explanation and this score would receive a 5. Oh, I did this all in the wrong column. A student who has that explanation and is giving themselves that score for counterclaim would receive a 5 in counterclaim in the speech project. Please check in if you have any questions.